Hello and welcome to my page. I am here today to talk about a couple planners that I have made based on my own planner. Normally I use a dot grid blank journal and sketch out all of my planning things, but it occurred to me that my system could possibly help somebody else, so I actually put it into one of my KDP options. So I made this planner several months ago, and it's loosely based on the planner that I use. So as I said, I have my blank dot grid book, and I'll sketch out my pages. So I usually have a blank page for the beginning of the month where I'll do some artwork, and I know that's not necessarily something that everybody does, but I like to do it. This video actually isn't about this planner. This was my first planner. This video is more for this planner, which is the updated and revised and I think better planner. This one, the new one is set up basically the same, except the original one, I had these spaces for gratitude and affirmations and wins for the day and things I needed to improve. I found using this wasn't really my style. This was something that I added because in my own journal, I did find that I kind of some days wanted to make note of some things, but as I have been using this planner for 2 months, this is a 3-month planner, I've not really been using these. I more have been wishing I had more space for notes, because I definitely am the kind of person who jots a lot of notes. And then there are some other things that as I was using it, I realized that I didn't actually notice, because this was my first planner, my first go round. Things I didn't notice, like the fact that this is the only spot I have check boxes. I didn't carry them over to the opposite page, so only every other page has the check boxes. And that's something that I like to do. I find a lot of I have that sense of accomplishment when I can actually check that box off. I do have a video for this original planner, which I will link to in the description, but for now I want to show the improvements that I did on the second planner, which is now available in my KDP shop, which I will also link, but let's get into it so we can see the changes I've made. Still 3-month planner, and set up basically the same, but this new one, I have added a 2-page index to the front. I have some journals that have index and some that don't, and I like having the quick reference. These are not numbered pages, however, so if you do decide to use the index, you will have to number your own pages, but in the grand scheme of things, that's not really that big of a deal, I don't think. When I make my own journal, I number the pages myself anyway, in addition to having to write everything out. So this is basically a skeleton of a planner that you can customize the way you like it. It is undated, so you can start any month that you want. And also when you get into the weeks, you can start the week any day you like. I start mine on Sunday, but you can start it on a Wednesday if that's the way your schedule works. So it's a very good skeleton base of a planner. I have kept the habit tracker at the beginning of each month for up to 6 habits you can schedule in there, write in there and keep track of. And again, I like notes, so there's notes. If you haven't seen the original planner, my system of working through a planner, I like to have a month at a glance where I can keep all of my bills due tidy in here. Any reminders that come up during the month, I jot them in here, and then the month goes into the first week. And so you can take any of your reminders from your first week, add them in here, any important notes that you need to keep track of for the week. You can have your week at a glance right in here. Again, another spot for notes, which I love. And then from this week of reminders, you go into each day. So if your week starts on Monday, this is for the day of Monday, whatever the date is. And then you can schedule in your very important must-do list, any other tasks you want to try to get to. And then if you are so inclined to break it down by the hour, some days I find this very, very useful. I've never done this before. I put it in this planner, and I have, over the last couple of months, really enjoyed having a better breakdown of hours some days. It's just really helpful. And then, so now I've added another place for notes. So besides this place for notes, there's a spot to sort of jot any of your tasks that as you're going through. You're maybe like, you know what, I'm not going to get to that. Let me just move it till tomorrow. And then in this case, you know, maybe you say you're going to move it tomorrow, and then suddenly you find a little extra time and you're able to do it. You don't have to move it tomorrow, but at the end of the day, when you're scheduling your next schedule, you can take any of these, move to tomorrow's, and add them to your task list. And I find that that's a more, I just find it a little bit more productive, a little bit easier way to keep track of your things. So that is an adjustment I've made there. I've taken out a lot of the colors and, you know, extra fonts and that sort of thing. It is very bare bones, but the thing I like about this is that you can customize it any way you like. If you have fun washi tape, like I do, because a friend gave me a bunch and I've been collecting some, and I did a little Archer and Olive advent calendar for my birthday, and so I got a couple extra washi tapes, although they're sparkly and they're not in here. But anyway, the point is, if you have some fun tape, you can decorate this bare bones planner any way you like with your tapes, or you can use markers and doodle. One note I want to make is that if you have like these markers are pretty juicy water-based markers that this heavy brush stroke is going to go through the paper. So just be aware that this is not a mixed media paper. It's more of a notebook paper. So pens, basic markers, those will be fine. You just don't want to press too hard. I have some acrylic paint-based pens. Those actually work pretty well. These are Archer and Olive paint pens, and they did not go through. This is other markers going through, but just be aware that these are just your basic notebook weight paper. But again, washi tapes, stickers, anything you want to do to customize these pages is plenty of options. So going through, in case you didn't see the first planner, like I said, it's now I have an index at the front. There's a habit tracker, a month at a glance, and then a week at a glance, and 7 days. So that goes on for 4 weeks until you get to your end of the month pages, where you can do some monthly reflections, and then again, more places for more notes, because I am very note heavy in my daily life. And then the next 2 months, as a space holder, there is a place if you want to customize, you know, do a little bit of artwork. Just again, be aware that your tracker is on the other side, so any heavy markers are going to bleed through and maybe cause a trouble. So just be aware of that, and test any of your markers maybe in the corner first, just to be sure. So then that's it. It's a 3-month planner. I will link to this. Oh, and each month has a slightly different color scheme, just for fun. So this is the new one. This is up now. I will link to that. and I will link to the original one too. There, I do have a video. I'll link to that video too if you want to look at that more closely. I go more deeply into like the markers, I think, in that one. And then while we're here, if you're a journaler, I also have this cute new journal. It's much thicker than my regular journals. I think it's 150 pages. And it has my sweet design that I designed, which I'm really excited about. That's why I'm just mentioning it here, but I just think it's really cool. But that's that. So I'll leave some links and you can check them out, and I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope that you are able to plan in a way that works for you, and just enjoy it. Have fun with it. Planning isn't meant, I don't think it should be boring. I don't think it should be something you dread. I think planning is fun, and checking off your lists and getting things done is even more fun. So good luck with that, and thanks for watching.